I believe so much in holistic methodologies and the power to heal after being so sick for so long that I want everybody to get that gift. I want people to be able to revert autoimmunes because it can happen. I want people to live their best life. I want people to get out of bed and not hurt, right? Yeah, we deal with acne, but how many of these other components are we trying to help mitigate through our, I would say, our intelligence, right?
And our own personal experience.
Oh, for sure. Like there's not a protocol out there inside the Clear Skin Solution that I have not personally gone through.
Welcome to the Clear Skin Chronicles, the podcast that takes you on a journey to uncover the secrets of achieving glowing, acne-free skin. We believe that knowledge is power, and by understanding the root causes of your acne, we can create a solid foundation for long-lasting clear skin. I'm Katie Stewart, registered holistic nutritionist and founder of the Clear Skin Solution, where we help women just like you get to the root cause of their acne.
And I'm Chris Brown, registered holistic nutritionist and program director in the Clear Skin Solution. Through functional testing, we pinpoint where the body system imbalances lie so we can dive deep into your acne clearing journey.
We work virtually with clients to clear up their skin from the inside out and have helped thousands of women worldwide regain their confidence.
So today, Chris and I, we were chatting. We're like, you want to what? Our brains are tired. We've had one of those weeks, right? Like we've had a week, the whole company, and we record on Fridays, and we were like, you want to what? I don't want to use my brain today. So we decided last minute, actually, Chris, how did we decide on today's topic? What did we do? Because our brains were so tired.
I said, hang tight. I don't want to talk about adrenals or anything. Let me phone a friend.
Let me phone a friend.
I took off one of my headphones and I called Paige.
Yep, she was the friend. And we were like, Paige, we need an idea. We want something fun, easy, lighthearted. And that's how we ended up at today's topic, which I actually, when she said it, I was like, oh, this is really fun. Like it actually got me excited to chat today. Yeah. And what was that topic that she suggested? Well, I'm sure if they're listening, they've read the title of the episode, but.
Oh, what's the title of the episode?
I haven't decided yet because this is a completely.
Ad haddock.
Yeah, this is an ad lib topic today. So Paige was like, I think it would be a really good idea to do a topic on, Instagram versus reality, right? That real life versus real life. And I think that's a really great thing for us to talk about because, I often forget myself that my Instagram probably comes across as really perfect and beautiful. And I eat all of these. Well, it's very pretty.
It is very pretty.
It is very pretty with all of the new brand colors. I'm actually wearing the brand color today, the lilac. We're really in love with the lilac. Bless our lovely social media women, Lemon Collective. They are behind all of the design beautification. So
wait, let's take that for a second. Let's zone in on that.
I'll zone in on what?
We're going to do it. We're going to coach today. Maybe I'll coach a little bit.
You not me. Don't coach me.
Yeah, it might happen. God. It's unleashed. Today's unleashed. It's raw. It's candid.
Great.
Right? No script, no points, no nothing.
We're just
don't
going.
Script anyways, but this is what that brand color you're wearing. First of all, we all love it. Like
love the lilac.
Vote. Bit of a democracy there. Hey guys, what did you say? Right? But that's something in your head. Right? Like when you wake up, you're like brand colors and I'm podcasting and because aesthetically you love that stuff. It's not you're not forced to it. You love it.
I've loved it since I was a kid. I've always loved anything aesthetic, like beauty. Like I've been painting my nails since I was 5. I
can't stand the smell of nail polish. It actually is so repulsive that I will rage.
Really? I would be like 7 years old doing like hand masks. Like this is how indoctrinated I am into this world of pretty things and aesthetics and all of the things.
How did we meet? Because I'm thinking, look at this thing. I've got like one of these time things happening. How did we meet? Right?
Honestly, I don't even
opposites.
know. But we mesh pretty well, I would say.
Well, methodology helps, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it would be a good idea today is to really like peel back the curtain on your and I's lifestyle, because again, and Paige brought this up as a good idea because Paige, you know, she talks a lot with the clients, she talks a lot with our community, and she said something she hears quite often is, you know, people are saying, hey, like, how doable is it to really clear my acne? Like, I can't be spending 3 hours making a sweet potato gnocchi on a Monday. Obviously not. So I thought by pulling back the curtain a little bit and just like on our day-to-day life and like how, you know, we're not perfect all of the time, and you know, mess ups we've had, things that we do to get, you know, to get back on track, and all of those kind of behind the scenes stuff that you don't necessarily see in a curated Instagram feed.
Mm-hmm. Even different personalities, and you know, you'll see it on the podcast. I have a different personality than Katie for sure. Go to her Instagram; it's gorgeous. Come to mine, you've got bits and drabs, the colors. Like Katie probably cannot go. I'll tell you,
I can't.
can you? You can't
Nope.
go to my Instagram.
I don't even
it
go.
makes you vomity.
I know, like, Chris, can we put some reels up? And she's like, no, absolutely not. These are my chicken feet.
That's a boundary for me. I will do things like I post a lot of my dog. Do I love him more than the children? Somebody asked me one time. I said, I hope it was a joke. I'm like, no, they have a time and place, each of them. I'll answer sarcastically. However, it's because it's just not my jam, right? It's not even my era.
Not even my era, she says.
It's not an era, right? Because it's just, I'm online all day, every single day. I people all the time.
It's a lot of peopling.
I use a lot of brain power and energy through my brain. I'm pretty sure my acetylcholine is just not high enough, right? We deal with personal, emotional, mental. So like when I get to a Friday and I'm like, I physically can't.
We need to change the days that we record away from Fridays. Like, what were we thinking?
Yeah, come the fall, let's go Wednesday.
Let's go Wednesday.
Right? Like these types of things, that's the candid truth, is I don't take clients past 3 o'clock.
Because your brain physically can't handle it.
I can't. I have 5 to 7 to 8. Yesterday I had 12 clients. Whether they're quick exchanges or not, the fact is I want to put everything into these people.
Absolutely. And I think just being able to show, like, you know, both of us are human. Like we don't have perfect lives. Like we have all of these things going on behind the scenes that you may necessarily not see. So let's kind of take this through how we would a protocol, Chris. You know how we build our protocols with nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle. Let's talk through behind the scenes of our nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle. And I know you don't like to share supplements. I'm not saying you got to list them out, but you know, the like behind the scenes stuff.
I'll say what I take. That's biochemical. Please just don't repeat what we do, because the people we work with are taking us as a biochemical. Like it's like, you know, do you want to be a Frankenfurter? Do you want to turn green? I can't, you know, if you do what I do, you might turn green. I don't know.
So let's
just disclaimer.
Let's start with nutrition, because that's a big one that we see. Obviously, you know, being nutritionists, and you know, we have a weekly blog that goes out and they're beautifully shot. And remember, like these are like I use a professional camera to shoot these. They're, you know, edited in Lightroom and the colors look great and they're so pretty and all the things. So let's start with nutrition, because again, you know, when I'm sharing my meals, I'm going to be sharing the pretty things, the things that are plated nicely and all that kind of fun stuff. But when we peel back that curtain, I'm not eating like that 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Enter and gasp.
What? What? You're not perfect in your food? No. Like, no, let's just put it that way. I would love to be, you know, perfect with my food. But I think for me, one of the biggest lessons, Chris, that I've learned over the course of being a nutritionist is it's not about perfection. If you're trying to be perfect with how you're eating and living, you're going to drive yourself absolutely crazy, because I did that in the beginning years of being a nutritionist. I was like, I have to be perfect across the board. I can't mess up. I have to be perfect. Did you find the same?
Yeah. Well, I found it, now that I'm looking back, I found it because I took the world by storm, right? I'm like, we're going to do this and this because we want the best. Outside of that, we expected everybody to follow suit with us at the same pace. And you and I have a very specific pace. So
fast is faster.
Fast is fast is faster, right? Reverse is still a speed. Like these types of things. But that right there is something we have to look at, we wanted to do it because our field isn't publicized. Our field is almost pseudoscience. So we wanted to show up extra extra like bold. And, like I'm even doing it now, like extra bold. And we wanted to be able to answer all the questions because we didn't want to be challenged all the time to deflate what we knew was 100% driver in the ailments of acne, in the ailments of autoimmunity, in the ailments of depression, whatever it is.
And you want to know what I think another component of the holistic living wellness, whatever you want to label this industry, it
holistic just means whole, just
yeah,
for everybody. It's a fancy word for whole.
Healthy, living, natural, whatever, this realm. And I feel like there is a very toxic component to this industry where if you aren't perfect in all the things, like here's an example. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing like a story or something on Instagram. And in the background of the story, there was a pulled pork I had made for my husband and his friend. I think it was a football thing, something. I received a message from somebody saying, I cannot believe you have pork in your house. That is disgusting. I have followed you for years. I am unfollowing. That is, I cannot believe a nutritionist would it was like, Chris, it was like a Word doc, a full Word doc of berating me because I had a pulled pork in the background that I was giving to my husband and his friends for God knows what. And it's that toxic component where you give yourself anxiety because you have to be perfect all the time because God fear, there's going to be this one comment from this one camp of people. So it's very, very toxic where if you're not presenting this perfect nutrition front all of the time, you're going to be berated on social media and the trolls are going to come after you. Like, there's so many different camps.
Ask me again why I don't have a lot of social.
Ask me again why I stopped posting on social media for months in 2022 because I put out a post on how dairy is impactful in acne and the raw dairy community came at me. I'm like, aren't we all
and the
same?
fish and the mercury? Yeah. There was two.
There's a couple things, Chris. But I feel like there is a very toxic part to the society where you have to be perfect. And if you don't mold into that person's ideal of what they believe is healthy, then you know nothing and you're discredited.
For sure. Well, look at our intimate group of friends, right? The ones we keep really close. They're going to have at some sort the same process of thought, some kind of holistic concept. I mean, they don't have to be at the certain level because, your friends will joke, my friends will joke like, oh, you're a different level. And we know what that different level means, right? But that pork is an example. Let me step back for a second. Pigs don't sweat. They roll around their own poo, right? You cannot eat pork raw. It has to be always reheated because of the pathogenic carrying capacity. Get it? So what about looking at it like at a grand scheme of this is all the things they do. However, this is what I'm going to do to prevent those pathogens and stuff so that I don't have to live with food fear.
That's right. Is a lot of this industry creates massive food fear, especially
even we can in the program. Not that we can, like we are purposely, right?
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast, right? And when you look at the nutrition world, especially, there's going to be again, there's the raw dairy people. There's going to be the low lectin, the low salicylate, the low oxalate, the low histamine, the gluten-free, the paleo, the keto, the carnivore, the celery
natural,
juice community.
Microbiota.
There's
hundreds of diets now.
Hundreds of
diets.
It
is so hard for us to keep up.
It is so hard to keep up. And that's the issue, right? Is if you're you could literally post about anything and someone's gonna be like, well, what about that? What about the lectins in that? What about the phytoestrogens in that? What about the this and that? What about literally you could say anything. They could you could be like, it's important to breathe. And they'd be like, are you kidding me? You want me to breathe this air? There's so many facets to this. So with all of that said, let's kind of pull it back and kind of go through a day, let's say a week or a month in the life of Katie and Chris. Now, for me, this is scary. People are gonna be like, I'm sorry, you guys are hot messes. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you know what? Hot messes. And this is how we do what we do.
Because we can understand and we can relate because we experience these same things that you do. I'm a mom of 2 little boys that are 7 and 2. I also run a company with a team of 22 and the client roster of hundreds. And this, I think Chris would be really shocked at how complex KSW Inc. is, because from the outside, it probably just looks like I'm this nutritionist on Instagram and I see a couple clients here and there. But behind the scenes, we're like a full blown company with C-suites and assistants and bookkeepers and lawyers and all of these behind the scenes that the Instagram doesn't show. So for me,
sure.
like I don't coach anymore because I've taken on that CEO role, and I'm dealing with bookkeepers and lawyers and going to the bank and doing, all of these business things where, Chris and Paige are really running that coaching aspect of the company. So this is a really big team atmosphere. But for me, the stress of all of that, because I carry all of it on my shoulders, where there's people depending on me and I have to do this. And like, I have all of my own limiting self-beliefs of not being intelligent enough, fear of failure, all of those things that I put such stress on myself. I'm getting to my point, I promise everybody. That for me, one of the things I've really been struggling with, I'd say for the last year, is eating meals in a day. Yet, how many times have you seen me on Instagram or an email or on social media or wherever saying on this podcast, make sure you don't skip meals, make sure you don't rely on caffeine for breakfast, make sure you get your protein, fiber, and fat. I have been struggling to eat breakfast and lunch for like probably a year now because my stress is so high that there's days where I just like, my husband texts me at 2, he's like, you eaten yet today? I'm like, nope, I haven't. That's probably why I have a headache and why I feel sick, but I'll go eat something. So it really is, I should say it really is, but I share this so you know that I'm not a perfect person. It's easy to say the things, but I also have to take my own advice.
Yeah, that is that stress component, right? And for our clients that are highly stressed or, traumas, deaths, separations, poor relationships, they can't stand their work, all of these things, you don't feel like eating. And that's good because your body is saying, don't eat. I can't do both. What do you want me to digest? And then you're running from something, some kind of tragedy, some kind of memory, some kind of perpetuation of whatever, like you said, the rendition of how you feel, right? The thoughts that run through your head. And so you take that and then we're like, oh, now we're kind of calm. 5 o'clock comes around, off goes the computer. That doesn't happen in my life. I'll tell you about that. Off goes that computer. And then all of a sudden we want it all. I eat like 2 dinners.
I know, because I'm starving by the time. It's like
I am like a man-avore. I will eat anything. Right? And I do. And I really had to pull back recently and chew my food to a pace like consistency. Because sometimes I go so far outside that box that I have to remind myself the core value of digestion. Oh, you know what? I'm getting gas and bloat. I'm going to chew my food. Oh my gosh, my gas and bloat is gone.
Interesting. Isn't that funny how that happens?
Interesting. Is that going to happen for everybody? No.
Oh, I actually drank a sip of water today. Maybe like, oh, my headache went away. Huh. Interesting.
Well, Peyton said that. She's been having this cough and she goes, oh, I just feel like this mucus just, and she was kind of saying it like that. Just feel like this mucus thing is just like, And I said, yeah. And she goes, yeah. And when I drink more water, it goes away. And and my kids do this, right? And I look and she goes, I think I should drink more water. And all I want to do is just like pull the car over, get out, smash my head 17 times on the hood, get back in and be like, let's continue driving. I like that they're making the connections, just like the clients, they're making the connections. But then I say, then why don't you, honey? Oh, because I forget.
That's my issue is I forget. It's like I get so caught up in my day. Like on an average week, some of my days I have had 8 meetings, back-to-back meetings where I like can't even get up to go pee because I'm just stuck on Zoom speaking to lawyers and bookkeepers and this person and that person and this person because I'm so just focused. Like for me, I think my biggest issue is being a workaholic, coming from working in television where you work 16 hours a day and it's been a cycle that's been extremely difficult for me to break.
Same here. I am. Absolutely. Why? Because I believe so much in holistic methodologies and the power to heal after being so sick for so long that I want everybody to get that gift. I want people to be able to revert autoimmunes because it can happen. I want people to live their best life. I want people to get out of bed and not hurt, right? Yeah, we deal with acne, but how many of these other components are we trying to help mitigate through our, I would say, our intelligence, right?
And our own personal experience.
Oh, for sure. Like there's not a protocol out there inside the Clear Skin Solution that I have not personally gone through.
Personally. And that's what I think makes us really powerful at what we do, is we've had a lot of health issues ourselves. So we have the experience, the understanding, the empathy, and we've done the things to improve. Like for me, if you've been listening any length of time, you know that I've been going through some really intensive treatments with my functional medicine doctor for Epstein-Barr and chronic pain. And that's, again, been another very taxing thing on my body that's added on top of the plate, the virtual plate, so to speak, that gets added into that mix of going through my day-to-day nutrition and lifestyle and all of those things. Did that make sense? I feel like my brain didn't.
No, it does. Right. And when we're riddled with virus and when we're riddled with pathogens, that really can control a lot of our reactions, our mindset.
Oh, yeah.
This is why people also do very well, say, going carnivore. Carnivore has a fibrous-like property, right? Carnivore has amino acids. Carnivore is dopamine it's sparring, and in a sense, it increases it. So people with anxiety and depression sometimes do the carnivore, and they're like, oh, it's eradicated. Then I say, how do you get out of that? So what I love doing and what I truly feel is, I don't go without water. That's a hard no.
Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my water for that.
No, but I think even through a trend and being on YouTube and stuff like that, people see this a lot with me. This is me. This is me. I leave the house with this.
Yeah, same. I leave it with a mason jar. That's how I drink all my water.
And then people are like, but it's glass. And I'm like, I've got this down to a science. And if it breaks, it breaks. Life goes on. And for that one moment, I go and buy a plastic bottle of water. If I can't find glass. Do I find a different, like the Fuji I quite like, Evian,
all the fancy waters.
Well, the fancy waters, because these companies tend to have, or at least at the time of the last research, quality. They have a better quality. It's not tap water like many, like
the Kirkland.
Listen, if it has a budget label, I'm just letting you know there's a reason for it.
Probably just tap water.
So yeah, this is what I do, but I don't leave my house without water, because if I'm hungry, I know that 60% of my body is reliant on hydration. I know my energy, part of that is it needs water. My bowels need water. My skin, hello ladies, acne, skin needs water. My daughter with the mucus forming needs water so she can detoxify. That's a hard no. So that's something I've never actually not done.
Okay, I love that. So I think this would be a good time to go through like the real life versus real life, right? The Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
So maybe we can each share like on one of our good days, like what are we eating in a day? And then on one of our like not so good days, what are we eating in a day? I'll let you go. We'll each do our good days and then we'll each do our bad days. You go first.
Okay, so my good day is I am going to start out with some kind of protein breakfast. Steve makes our breakfast because that's how we've doled it out. I'm not taking it back, Steve, so don't even think about it.
I love making breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day.
It is my least favorite because my morning is already a 2-hour event.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I'll just go through my morning. Let's start there for a second.
Yeah, okay? That's fun. Let's go through a day in the life.
So I get up 6:30 if I don't wake up before my alarm religiously. I have a shower. I bathe every single day. I don't do my hair. I do my hair twice a week just because that's an extra Chris thing you need to know.
You don't curl it like I did today with the curling wand, Chris?
I braided it because it's raining and the humidity just makes my horns come out, right? Yep. So that's what I do. Then I go downstairs and my lucky children, that's what I say, right? I feed the dog. If the dog doesn't have any pre-portioned, because he's raw, if he doesn't have any pre-portioned food, I portion out his food. Then I take out the girls' lunches and I start getting that ready. At which point, Peyton, my eldest, who's 16, she loves dinner for breakfast.
Love it. Love that vibe.
Okay, so I know she's getting protein, these types of things. So I craft her either a portion of that. I get that ready. That has to be ready by 7:20 if we're going to make that bus, right? I then hold off the rest of them. I don't preheat it. Their food. I get the dishwasher emptied, or I get the dishes washed. I walk with Peyton because the other two are in the same grade, so they can walk together. Peyton doesn't have anyone, so I walk with her. I walk Bruno. I come home. I get lunches ready. I sit down, and by 8:15 usually, I am like, nobody talk to me. That's if my day goes okay, Katie. And that's if the kids are like all playing nice.
When does that happen?
Less than
so
3 times a day.
in that morning, are you eating? Was there a coffee?
No,
like
no food at this point. I have brewed a coffee. I have taken my tincture to help eradicate my EBV. Mm-hmm. I have at least bathed, so that's a bonus.
That's a plus.
I always make my bed. That's just a thing for me.
Yeah.
I have survived my morning
with your children.
If there is something that is like muffin or quick eating, yes. I will not start sipping on that coffee until I at least stabilize something in my stomach, because I prefer the coffee with food to avoid that cortisol like spike and then that blood sugar instability. I also notice that if there isn't protein in my breakfast, like this within about an hour. Okay, so then I work and I work and I work and I work. 12 to 1 is a lunch break that I put in my calendar as a little ha ha ha. So I go and I make something. Within 20 minutes, I'm back to work. I don't even take the hour, because now I'm doing case files and this and that, whatever.
You're going to make me seem like a slave driver.
No, this is on me. I can't impose any of the way I work on other people, because it's a choice, right? I go through my day. One kid comes home about 10 to 3. The other ones are coming home at 4 o'clock. I've got to get one to work. You know what I mean? She's not driving. She's driving, but not driving, right? By herself. Like, this is life. This is my life. And then I've got probably 2 dinner shifts. And then I have a dog to walk again, because that's really important to me. And, at about 9:17 is usually when I'm coming off my computer, and then Steve comes up and goes, "When did you go to bed?" And I'm like, "I can't people no more. I can't do it."
So, Chris, but what are you eating in the day is what I want to know. Like, on a good day, what are you eating?
But that's what I'm saying. So there's my routine. So what do? I make an extra portion from dinner and I put it in a hot holding container. I am in between meetings shoveling my face, or in that 20 minutes that I elect for, I'm doing that. What it is I'm probably eating some chicken, or I'm carnivore. I'm not carnivore, sorry.
Omnivore.
I'm omnivore. So I eat meat. So I have a meat and a veggie. Sometimes I'm like, I go and get some nacho chips and salsa. I call it a homeless dinner. I'm not
like a cassava tortilla. Because you're not doing corn.
Yeah, cassava tortilla, salsa. I use a cashew cheese. I make a smorgasbord, right? Like charcuterie board. I have some pepperettes. I have some veggies. Sometimes I have it with hummus, and sometimes, you know what I love? Here, celery.
Oh,
yeah, I do. I love celery. Sometimes I like hummus. If it's homemade, I love it. Celery, hummus, dipping it in pumpkin seeds with some salt.
Right? Probably love that.
So anyways, long story short is I don't do well. I don't balance my day. By about 3 o'clock, I have a little stash behind one of these books.
Behind the book?
I do, because the kids aren't going near books.
What's the stash of?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, show us, everybody. If you're on YouTube watching, you'll get to see the stash, everybody.
Okay,
if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you're going to have to go over. Oh, the free to bees, the sunflower buttercups. Look at you.
2 of those in the afternoon to get me through dinner. And dinner is balanced. Dinner is protein, fat, and fiber. Dinner, I'm eating like a hardcore man, because I haven't done that. I don't do coffee. Hard nose, I don't do coffee or tea after 10 a.m. Water is always with me. I do have quick foods or snacks around me if I know I have lineups. I have my Indulgence, and when I'm stressed out, you better believe those chips are my go-to.
And what type of chips? Share with the class, everybody.
I like wavy ones because they hold extra salt.
She does. She likes the rippled ones.
I do. They're my fantastic. And you want to know why? Because you can get more dip in there. I also might eat it with hummus.
What's funny is Chris and her daughter, two of her daughters, came over to our house a couple months ago, and I specifically went and bought those chips for her. And I usually don't buy. It was like the Ruffles, like regular.
It was a Ruffles. That one was Ruffles brand. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a Ruffles regular
in my house, but yeah.
And I usually I'll if I do buy we always have chips in the house. I'll buy like
a hard bite. Or something.
Yeah, I'll buy Ciet, hard bite. Any of those ones that are cooked in avocado oil. So I'm getting a healthier chip. So I'd never purchased.
She tells herself that, but what else?
It's still a chip, everybody.
It's better.
But I had never purchased Ruffles before, and I went and I put it in the pantry. And I came out from, I was working or something. I came out and my two boys had finished half this Costco size bag of Ruffled chips. They're like, Mom, these are the best chips we've ever had. And I'm like, buddy, first of all, those were for Chris. And second of all, we're not going to be buying those all the time. Right? Go back to your avocado oil. And they're like, no, Mom, these are the best chips ever.
But the food service industry knows this.
Yeah. So that would be part of your 80-20. That would be part of your 20 when we talk about the 80-20 approach, because we're always really big on that balance, right? And for you, it's the Ruffles chips.
And I don't here's the thing. If you're not eating a lot, you're going to gravitate in the afternoon to those junk.
The refined carbohydrates, because you need the quick fuel.
So I'm not big on a lot of fruits. I have a lot of reactions to fruits. Mm-hmm. So I don't do that. I'm not going to go grab a fruit knowing it's going to spike my blood sugar. I'm going to grab some water and then I'm going to balance it maybe with some celery. Mm-hmm. Watch what you crave. That's what I say. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Why do I want celery? Who wants celery ever in life? Me.
All right. So that's a day in the life of Chris.
Yeah. So it's not glorious. It's
not glorious. Yeah. We are very boring people. So for me, I would say in the last year, because I've been really focusing on my health, I've been dealing with the chronic pain and was dealing with the chronic fatigue. I have the most wonderful husband in the entire world. He is the sweetest man of life.
He is. He's also a bit of a pokeroo. You don't see him much, but yeah.
He is my rock and my saving grace. So mine's a little bit different because I used to be waking up, at 6:30 and doing all the lunches and stuff. But my husband's actually been letting me sleep later because I've been having, he knows how important the sleep is for me. He's like, and my mood doesn't do well with little sleep. He's like, I would rather get 3 hours of sleep than you get less than 7.
Then deal with the wrath.
Then deal with you. So you sleep. So I usually I get up usually a little bit after, between 7 and 7:30. But he's gotten up with the kids at 6:30 with the boys because they wake up earlier. So he's already started them some breakfast. So the boys are having scrambled eggs, some gluten-free bread from a local bakery. And they love berries, so raspberries or strawberries or pears, some type of fruit they like to have, and some coconut yogurt that we sweeten with a little bit of raw honey or a little bit of maple syrup. That's their day to day. I come down after my non-negotiable is I always do my skincare routine and brush my teeth as soon as I wake up. That has to happen immediately. And then
teeth. Yeah. I'm in.
Gotta. So, and then our one dog, because we have 2 dogs, the female, she doesn't leave the bedroom until Mom leaves. So we go downstairs, breakfast is already kind of underway. So I kind of start wherever the gaps need to be filled, start helping off lunch because Frank's generally started the lunches already. Again, bless his soul. So I'll kind of finish up the lunches, get the kids vitamins and probiotics. Get kind of that done. My husband's already doing some dishes. I know he's a wonderful man. The more I always say he got the short straw in the relationship because he's the better human.
That's a self-limiting belief.
He's a wonderful man. And then, so I'm kind of getting I'm signing agendas and getting the kids' bags together, checking the weather. So that way I can figure out what they're going to wear today, getting their clothes together. Our toddler is obsessed with his dad. So I am chopped liver. Actual chopped liver.
This is true facts.
He's obsessed with his dad.
No, mama.
No, I want dada. Dada, get me dressed. So I'm like, buddy, mommy's getting you dressed today. Okay. So I'm making, I'll usually get Frank's coffee prepped and I'll also make myself a matcha. So I'm having a matcha when, for me, I know I do better when I have a protein rich breakfast, but this season of life that I've been in, it's just so hectic in the morning. So, and we get the dogs fed, and then Jackson gets the bus at 8:30. Frankie, the toddler, he goes to Montessori. So they leave for Montessori. And then at 8:30, it's just me and the dogs. So that's if I'm trying to get better. So on the days when I do remember to eat, I'm generally having a protein rich, I'll have one of my quick go-tos is an egg, and like sometimes I'll do it like, like a omelet style or
Oh yeah,
scrambled or
veggies and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And I like to put that in one of the Ciet almond flour wraps. So I'll do an egg with avocado. I always have I like to have some pico de gallo bruschetta in a container in the fridge, and I'll sprinkle that in with the egg, with the avocado, a little bit of the avocado oil mayo. And then I'll put that in the almond flour wrap, and then I'll just quickly crisp that up in the cast iron pan, and I'll have that as a really quick breakfast alongside my matcha. That's like 50-50 if I'm getting a breakfast in, though, because being my workaholic self, I generally get my matcha, go sit down, open up Slack, respond to emails, respond to Slack messages, and all of a sudden it's 2 p.m. and oh my God, I'm starving. Because my day, I literally live in Slack, Zoom, and Gmail. That is all I do all day long. And some days I'm shooting B-roll and content for our social media team. I'm putting out, I'm
Sorry,
usually,
when you say B-roll, I honestly think of porn.
why do, it's
I don't,
B-roll.
why do I?
It's a
I
term.
Is it
It's
a term? Because
it's a television term.
I think of porn.
It's not.
I think it's like a scandalous. I'm like, Paige said that you were doing B-roll one time, and I'm like, whoa, we're doing what? That's going to go on Instagram? Like, I didn't say anything.
So B-roll is a television term, and it
Okay.
comes from, because it used to be like there was the A-roll for, your interviews and all that kind of stuff. And then the
Okay.
B-roll is the secondary shots of like you just like me casually taking a sip of water. Like you see those shots in television.
You even do that with poise.
It's my TV skills. Come on
Me,
now.
I'm just like, how do I do that?
So I'll be getting some B-roll, and generally I also do reformer Pilates because I have chronic pain, and if I don't get reformer Pilates in, then my back will start to to give out. So I'm generally going to reformer Pilates, and I like to have those in the morning. So it's either an 8, 9, or 10 a.m. class, so I can get that done. And then I'll come back, and if I haven't eaten yet, which is not great, but if I haven't eaten yet, I'll generally eat that, whether that almond flour wrap thing I said, or I'm also like Peyton is I really like to have leftover dinner for, I guess I could call it a brunch at that point. I really like to have the leftover dinner. And if I don't have a leftover dinner, I'll generally do like a charcuterie style plate where I'll use like the grass-fed beef sticks with some Bubby's pickles, some cashew cheese. I'll use like the Simple Mills crackers, a homemade hummus, maybe some avocado. I've been really, like, I know you're gonna love as well, is I've been adding black garlic to my charcuterie and cutting little pieces of black garlic.
I love black garlic.
I know.
I had 2 last night with my dinner.
I knew you would, because I have a black garlic farmer. I can literally see her farm from my front porch. I live in the country, and I get black garlic from her. And if you're wondering, Katie, what is black garlic? The garlic has been aged, so it literally turns soft and black, and it has incredible amount of antioxidants. It has this sweet. It's a sweeter flavor, and you can be using it in sweet and savory recipes. So it's really, really cool if you can get your hands on black garlic. I eat it raw. Yeah, I eat it raw as well, like when I have in my charcuterie. And then if I need a snack throughout the day, I'm generally having cucumbers or crackers and homemade hummus, because that's quick and easy. I can eat it at my desk. I'm not proud of that. I eat at my desk quite often. Or one of those pepperette sticks. What else? I also like the Ciet cassava flour tortillas that I'll have with hummus or some guacamole or salsa. And sometimes I'll do like yogurt. And I generally don't eat a lot of fruit in the winter because my body eats more seasonally. So if I am now I live in Niagara, so I have access to some really great local fruit, and I have some organic farms I go to. Shout out to Bijak Farms.
Yeah, you have a lot. You have a lot.
I
around
do.
You.
Bijak Farms. The owner's also a nutritionist. She is, not certified organic, but has a lot of organic farming practices, and she has peaches, and I'm obsessed. I go there all the time to get her fruit. So in the summer months, that's when I'll do more coconut yogurt with hemp hearts and chia seeds, and I'll add in some berries or peaches or whatever. So that would be another little snack that I do. And then dinner is very balanced. It'll be always a protein and probably 2 to 3 different vegetables. And one of those vegetables may be like a carbohydrate, like say a sweet potato. I do eat regular potatoes. That's the one thing I'm not going to give up, Chris. I love potatoes. It's the one food you can eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Okay.
And the one food that might be on a food intolerance test, but hey. Who's
Hey,
calling who out here?
hey, who's calling who out?
Yeah.
Or like maybe we'll do like some organic gluten-free rice or quinoa or something. But ours are very protein and veggie based. Like the dinners are the one thing that I really make sure we get. But again, there are days, like I have kids that play sports. Jackson was on the ice 3 to 4 days a week. We also do swimming and we do soccer and we have all of the things going on. And there's some nights where we're like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. Frank's going to be home in 10 minutes and I have to leave immediately for hockey and I haven't made dinner. So on those nights, some quick and easy things is sometimes it's just going to be a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. And some type of side I can throw together. I always have on hand the Go-Go Quinoa vegan mac and cheese that's made with the quinoa noodles. But that's a quick thing that I'll make for my kids. It's
my daughter asked at 8:30 the other night, can I make this? Because we had a late lunch. She had programs. I'm like, go for it.
You want all this protein in it. You do you. Like, yeah, there's
pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles. And
this isn't an all-time thing either.
Like once in a while, yeah.
That I can say is very limited at my dinner are grains in essence. Now, kids need grains, right? They need some glucose and stuff. I don't rip it out, but
just lesser amounts.
Yeah, it's like weekly. I'll do like a pasta with a rice,
a brown rice pasta.
Yeah, for sure. Or I will do rice. Like white rice, because we do have compromised guts. We can't break down the brand. So, that types of things. But that's like 2 or 3 meals out of 21 meals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not grain heavy.
Now, my kids, aside from their gluten-free bread, my kids don't really eat a lot of grains. Like they're not big rice eaters. They do love pasta. Like their favorite meal I make is lasagna. And I use an organic brown rice noodle for that.
That's delicious.
It's also
available.
It's also my favorite meal as well. So for me, I would say, on an off day, it's like I'm forgetting to eat my meals. I'm not drinking my water. I'm eating like a handful of broken crackers from the bottom of the bag at 3 p.m. because I'm so ravenously hungry. But I like being celiac and, dairy intolerant, I am still, we keep I would say 99% of the food we keep in here is very healthy. So I'm I don't get to, have those indulgences. Like I don't, go and get a Big Mac from McDonald's or anything like that. I would say that once in a while, my kids do ask for pizza. So I'll order a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza from Red Swan or Pizza on those nights where it's like, Mummy can't mummy anymore. She can't human anymore. I'm going to order a pizza and that's what we're going to do. So it's like for us, it's about finding that balance of the season of life that we're in without driving yourself crazy.
Yeah. And still remembering those holistics. So as you say, you go through that, like that's like a good, a bad, or you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like just recently, I'm like, listen, I know I'm messing with my blood sugar. I know that I'm getting more skin tags. Skin tags are pockets of collagen. And depending on where they are in your body, like armpits, breasts, lady parts area, these types of things, it could be a blood sugar instability as well, not just testosterone like people know. So I'm going to balance that a little bit more. I'm going to, I feel so much better. I've been doing such a great job. It's about going and, we call it going off the wagon, right? Or it's about looking at it and going, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. Having the sustainable practices and getting back on and knowing, you know what? Yeah, I would love to do Pilates. I'm like, where do I do it in my day? It is busy. If you don't make time, it's not going to happen.
That's a non-negotiable for me is that Pilates, because if I don't, I physically can't get out of bed. The pain is so severe.
Right. And it's also looking at the quirks and the nuances. I do this when I'm coaching, right? I can't ask somebody to do X, Y, and Z if their personality doesn't command that right off the bat, right? You said something to me earlier and you're like, so Chris, how do you organize your books? Remember when you said that?
I know, because I stare at her bookshelf all day long. And I was curious. I'm like, how did you organize? Because organization makes me feel good. I'm one of those, like the home edit. My husband knows, like, if he wants to increase his chances.
I feel like we're back to B-roll.
Organization and tidying is the way to my heart.
Hence why he starts with dishes in the morning. Frank,
Hence why
you're a
he starts
genius.
Hey, wait a minute. I see.
Oh, I love it. But that's the thing, right? If Katie shows you her book, this is two things. So I've got books here. She goes, how do you do it? I used to always organize them from top to bottom like
Okay.
this, right? Never by color, it was by size. Now I'm like, when I moved into this house, I'm like, this is what they look like. Color, whatever. I like the inconsistency a little bit more now because we change way more. Katie's Guaranteed is not only by size, it's by color coding, just like her closet.
1000% it is my book. Like these two things behind, I love reading. I'm obsessed with books. Both of these.
I can't see them.
This
You do have bookshelves.
This one, I do have bookshelves. This is where
Can
all
you
of, like,
see it on your? Because I can't see it on yours.
see what?
You're pointing to like nothing.
Oh no, it's because the way you formatted your screen.
Oh,
Yeah, if you
okay.
if you pull your screen apart, you'll be able to see more of what I'm talking about.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at me.
I know.
Okay, yes,
Look at you go.
those. I see them.
Yes. So now you see my bookshelf. So the one over here is all of my nutrition cookbooks. They're organized by color, and then in color, they're actually organized by shade of color. Because that's how intense I am.
This is why she can't eat during the day.
Yeah, because my anxiety is too high. My clothes are also organized by color coordination. And would it surprise you to know, Chris, that as a child, my movies, because I used to have VHSs, that's the generation I'm from, my VHSs were organized by production company. So like Disney, 20th Century Fox, like Pixar, like the production. So they were categorized by production company, then subcategorized alphabetically. I was doing this at the age of 7.
All I'm hearing is that you had SIBO at the age of 7.
I have issues, okay? They're lifelong issues, everybody.
No, it's good. It's good. But that's the thing, right? The environment. This does not fare well with Katie. I love the aesthetics. Like I love looking at your reels.
I didn't say it doesn't fare well with me.
This right now, this is heart palpitations. This is actually driving up your adrenal stimulus.
She's not gonna let me come to her house because I'm gonna go to her office and organize her bookshelf.
It might happen. But this is the thing. I also love looking at your background. I love the whites. I love the green, the greener, the grounding, right? You have the aesthetics. Everything about you is aesthetics. Everything about you. It really is. But it's calming. It is very calming.
To my OCD personality.
This is very chaotic, and yet I still have a similar personality to you.
Yeah, it's just interesting how, we're so different but so similar. So now that we kind of talk through like what we're eating in a day, and I should say, Chris, what would be one of your like unhealthy vices, like your guilty pleasure foods? And then I'll tell you mine.
That's chips and whatever these things are.
Yeah.
But I only like these around my menses.
Well,
facts. Hello, facts. Increase your progesterone foods, Chris, and stay off the junk.
Mine, I do like if I do eat like the healthier chocolate, like the coconut sugar. So like the snack foods I am eating.
Just get to the punchline because you're premising here.
The one guilty pleasure food I have is French fries. Like
because it's a potato.
At a wine, because I live in Niagara, so like if I'm at the Niagara Wine Festival, Grape and Wine, you better believe I'm gonna go to Smokes Poutinerie and get a French fry. I am obsessed with French fries. I don't eat them often.
She's obsessed with potatoes. This is just a form of potato.
I know. That's my unhealthy vice. I would say my guilty pleasure of French fries. If I could stomach it, it would be a poutine. But the cheese curds would murder my stomach.
Go to the Works. They have a vegan one. I'm not saying their ingredients are great, but I'm just saying it'll kill that.
I know. And all of the Americans that are listening are like, you eat poutine? That is the nastiest thing we've ever heard of. If you haven't tried it, come on, Americans.
Come on. Hop on the bandwagon.
I'm not promoting eating a poutine, but don't judge. Don't judge.
Yeah. So this is all raw and candid. Like this is what we do, right? I will spend more time giving my plants water and attention and making sure that those beauties get the right sunlight, and my brewy makes sure he eats at noon, his little snackitos.
And then when it comes to the supplements and lifestyle, like, I'm generally really good with my supplements, but I would say in the last probably 3 or 4 months, I've kind of been like, one day I'm good, ebbs and flows, just because of like my stress levels are so intense that it just takes over. But when I am doing my supplement regime, like ones that I would generally, I rotate through a different probiotic. Magnesium glycinate is something I'll take pretty much daily. And acetylcysteine, so NAC is in there. I have chronic pain, so I have a prescription for. I live in Canada, so I have a medical prescription for medical cannabis of CBD that I take just for my chronic pain. That's something I always remember to take every day because if I don't, I feel it. And then what else have I been taking in my supplements? Some liposomal vitamin C I've been taking lately, and omega-3 oil. And I do have collagen, but I don't really consider that a supplement. Like I just have it in my matcha.
It's a supplement.
Okay, well, I have collagen. I have a collagen every day. I would say like those are my. I should be taking an adrenal support
or IV.
An IV adrenal support is what I really need because you saw my blood lab or you saw my functional labs, Chris. They weren't looking so hot.
A little bit off.
Yeah, cortisol's not looking so good.
What do I take? I'm hit and miss with my probiotics. Sometimes I like my body to have to culture
itself. Yeah, that's
itself,
true. I do take
right?
some off times with it.
We shouldn't be so reliant on it. I take a tincture with.
I have a reishi tincture. I forgot. I do take that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have a reishi tincture.
I take a sage, astragalus. Come to me information. Cordyceps, because cordyceps is really good for eradication of EBV. And there's another little nugget in there, and I can't remember. But I am telling you, since an MVA, so car accident in '97, I used to get infused muscles so bad that there's not even anti-inflammatory could reduce this. Since being on this tincture, which Katie has been 9 months, nothing quick and fast.
Nope.
I don't get that flare unless I'm ready to take the world by storm and everybody around me is scared, right? Because the stress response is what I'm saying. I don't get that anymore.
Amazing.
I don't get that pain.
Yeah, and that's taking this for 9 months, everybody. It's not always a quick and easy fix.
Yeah, and it's by certain amounts. And, we've put one new herb in here or we're extracted whatever. Outside of that, I take ubiquinol, like a lifesaver. I take ALA, lipoic acid, because not only is it an antioxidant, but it helps stabilize my blood sugar. I have Hashimoto's. You know what their best friends are? Lupus and cholesterol and diabetes. No, thank you. Not a fan. Not my inner circle.
Oh, and I do take a vitamin DK blend throughout the winter months because I live in Canada.
I had a genetic test and it said I can take about 1,000, and I tried 3,000. I got muscle cramps.
Yeah, you have to be making sure you're taking the right amount for your body, and you can be doing that through some testing. And we're big fans of testing here. So remember, these are things that we're doing based on our health history, our symptoms, and also our labs. Because Chris and I we run labs on ourselves regularly throughout the year. I just ran a panel for my hormones and for I did a GI map and do all those things. So Chris and I do these things regularly to know what we should be having. And then lifestyle wise, Chris, for me, I would say the one thing I make sure is I'm really good with unless I am sick, I'm not going to Pilates. Pilates reformer, I do anywhere from 3 to 4, sometimes 5 days a week if I have makeup classes to do because I was sick. And then I do try to get
OCD right there. Okay,
go on. The way
or did you pay for it?
The studio I go to, you buy in sessions. So if you're sick, you have to make them up.
And I retract my statement.
So I'll make them up. And then I'm not great at walking in the winter because I don't like the cold. I'm a baby. I know. So in the
self-limiting belief, keep going.
Yeah, I hate walking in the winter. I hate it. So I do try to get some walks, get some sunshine in my day because I do feel better with sunshine as well. And then something I do regularly for myself lifestyle wise is I love having a hot bath. Like I want it to scald my skin. I want it to be melting my skin off of my bones. I want it that hot. And that's the one thing I do for myself. And having chronic pain, it's something I do often. And I will generally read a book. Yes, a paper book. I don't have a Kobo. I have a physical book that I read in the bath. Yes, I've never dropped it yet. So knock on wood. That would I say would be the things I really make sure to do. I wish I was better at I do really I go for spurts where it's months on end where I'm gratitude journaling and doing my my red light behind me, and I'm doing like name a health device, I have it. and I've spurts, and then I get out of the habit, and then like I haven't done my red light in a couple months, or haven't done my gratitude journal in a month. So I would say for me, those are the things that more ebb and flow, as well as I really like tapping, like the emotional freedom technique. I love the tapping solution app, and when I'm doing it, I feel better. But because I was sick for the last few weeks, I got out of the habit. So it's like, we have that happen as well, right? Life happens, you get sick, you get off the track, your life gets busy and all these things. And you're like, oh my gosh, all of these things that I like to do fell off track. So for me, when I start to reincorporate them, it's not like 0 to 100. It's, I'm going to pick one thing and I'm going to implement that.
Yes. Yep. We don't really have to talk about my lifestyle.
What do you mean, Chris?
I am not diligent with exercise, and I know that's my next vice. However, one of the things that I didn't share is when I exercise, I get dizzy because my adrenals, with the HP axis and the thyroid, it's overstimulating. I'm also a 0 to 100 person.
Yeah.
I can work out for 6 weeks and I can look like I've been in the gym for a year.
You have a very svelte like body composition as it is.
Yeah, and I would need to do that more, and I understand I need to. Even the elasticity in my face, it would help, skin aging. I had overworked out so much to the point that I'm actually scared to start working out again because that adrenal was not okay.
Yeah, it's easy to overwork out. Like it can
Right?
be an addiction.
So that's why I was like, okay, I'll do Well Pilates. I know there's an app, I can do it. So I'm on the maybe train. However, one thing I do is I love my dog. Like he's people's.
Bruno.
He's people's. I don't even want to put him in the classification of people's because that's a hard classification. But I make sure to get outside with him 3 times a day. It could be blizzarding. I'm going, unless I have meetings and stuff like that. That's different. But I am there. I have this deep empathy where I'm just going to share this one thing. I have this deep empathy where I'm like, I get to leave my house with freedom. He is reliant on me to let him leave the house. What a lifestyle. Like, I know he's fed and he's loved, and oh my gosh, is he loved, and he's like well fed. So that's me when he's out there and he's just like
living his best doggy life.
He has this little walk when he's excited. His head goes, oh my gosh. When I see that brings such joy to me. So do you see how that's like a bath?
Yeah.
Or that's like absolutely. The exercise? Steve and I make a real priority that we go on as many night walks together. We talk about the day, we talk about family things, so it's not in the house, so the kids can't hear certain things. We go on hikes. I have a pond and a forest around me. We do that. This is a priority. He's a priority in my life because it also
Bruno, not
feel
Steve.
Good.
Bruno, not Steve.
Yeah, Bruno, not Steve. But these types of things, I also am very transparent. So that's something that works for me. People may not like what it is, but I have to say, do you want the Chris Candid version of that? Because I don't believe in telling people what they want to hear. My husband says, you should appease me. And I said, you mean I should lie to you? Right?
You married the wrong woman.
And I don't have to be rude about it. I just have to say, this is a boundary and stuff. Please. So that's what I try and do it because I have a thyroid, right? I didn't speak my truth. So I have to love myself that way. So there's these little tiny things I'm doing for myself every single day. Oracle cards, love them.
Love Oracle cards.
Love them. I do that when I'm like, I'm just really not doing it. The cards I'm pulling out, I'm like, there's no way I could be making this up. It's not like your horoscope where it says, you're going to wear purple today. And I go to my closet and I wear purple today. Right? Those are the small things for me. Being around people I like. Right? Podcasting's out of my comfort zone.
But I forced her into it.
I like it because one, it's communication. It's isolation. I could be a hermit. You would never see me. So I have to push myself out of those comfort bounds. So that's kind of a day in a life of me.
Love it. Look at that, Chris. We filled an entire hour on Instagram versus reality, on what goes behind the scenes. And, this wasn't like a, crazy educational, like we usually do adrenals and liver and this is happening and this doctor's coming on, that esthetician. But I think it's still important to do these things so you can see that we're human just like you. And I would never want somebody to, feel to like compare themselves to what they see on my Instagram, like, oh my God, Katie eats perfect all of the time, because I absolutely don't. And it really is about showing that, you don't have to be perfect all the time because you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, be perfectly you. Know what you know. If you don't know, put yourself around people that do know. Educate yourself through that, right? People come to us and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take advice from Chris now. Yeah, because that doesn't diminish the quality and the capacity of the information I have. Mm-hmm. It means I struggle like everybody else doing it because I want to show up for everybody else. That's called an empath.
Mm-hmm. We're human, right? Like we're all human beings, and no human beings are able to be perfect. And we're shaped so much by our environment and our life and the chapter of life that we're in. So I think it's just important that, we're all human and we all have things going on behind the scenes, and, it's important. Quirks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's important to remember that it's about progress and not perfection.
Yeah.
All right. End. That's it, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Clear Skin Chronicles.
Thanks for hanging out with us this week on the Clear Skin Chronicles. We'll see you next Wednesday with a brand new episode. Remember to subscribe to the show and drop us a review. Sending glowing vibes your way, Katie and Chris.